Max was a kind and curious boy. He loved walking in the park, collecting leaves, and watching the clouds float across the sky. One day, he found a strange little jar with shiny letters that said, "Kindness" inside. Max took it home and placed it carefully. The next morning, Max noticed the jar was glowing softly. He opened the lid and heard a tiny whisper say, "Thank you." Max was surprised. He hadn't done anything special, but the jar sounded happy. He decided to try doing something nice that day. He helped an elderly neighbor carry her heavy groceries. That evening, the jar glowed brighter, and a tiny golden heart appeared inside. Every time Max did something good, like sharing his toys or saying kind words, the jar filled with new glowing shapes and magical light. One day at school, Max saw a boy sitting alone, looking very sad. Max sat beside him and said, "You're not alone." That night, the jar shimmered with a soft light, and a tiny star floated inside. Max smiled. His heart felt warm and full. He realized something special: kindness doesn't disappear. It grows. It shines brighter the more you give it, like magic that never runs out. The jar sometimes played a quiet melody when Max's home was filled with kindness. It gently hummed, "Well done, Max, keep going." As time passed, Max grew older. But he never stopped being kind. The jar stayed on his shelf, glowing with memories. One day, Max told his children the story of the jar. He said, "Kindness is real magic. You don't need a wand to use it." His daughter asked, "Can I make a jar like yours?" Max smiled. "Of course. Every good deed fills your own jar inside." And so, Max's children began doing good things too, sharing snacks, helping friends, and saying kind words to everyone around them. At night, Max looked out the window and imagined all the kindness spreading across the world like stars lighting up the sky. He remembered how it all started, with one little jar, a simple thank you, and a heart willing to try. One winter morning, Max saw a bird with a hurt wing near the window. He gently brought it inside and made a cozy box. He fed it breadcrumbs and water. The bird chirped softly and rested. That night, the jar glowed a bright, icy blue. A snowflake-shaped charm appeared inside the jar, spinning slowly. Max whispered, "I'm glad I helped." The jar gave a quiet hum in reply. In the spring, Max noticed the park had trash everywhere. So, he brought a bag and started picking it up with a smile. Soon, other kids joined him. They laughed and cleaned together. By evening, the park looked fresh again, and Max felt proud. The jar sparkled with green light, and a leaf symbol grew inside it. Nature smiled, and Max knew he did something good again. One day, a new boy named Leo came to school. He was shy and spoke quietly. Max invited him to play during lunch. Leo smiled for the first time. They played tag and drew pictures. Max said, "You're a great artist." Leo beamed with happiness. That night, the jar made soft twinkling sounds like a lullaby. A tiny sun appeared inside, warming the whole room with golden light. Max's parents asked him, "What's your secret to being so happy?" Max pointed to the jar and said, "It glows when I'm kind." "Can it work for us?" they asked. Max replied, "Kindness works for everyone. You just need to try it and believe." The next day, Max and his parents baked cookies and gave them to neighbors. Laughter and joy filled the building like music. The jar glowed so bright that Max had to cover his eyes. Inside, dozens of tiny hearts floated like balloons in the sky. One night, Max dreamed he was flying above the city. Below, he saw glowing dots everywhere. Every act of kindness shined like a star. He woke up smiling. The jar was pulsing gently. It seemed to whisper, "The world is better because of you, Max." Years later, Max grew up and became a teacher. He told his students about the jar and how kindness changes the world. Some children made their own jars at home. Some wrote kind notes. Others gave hugs. Max's classroom became the kindest place in school. One rainy day, Max saw a girl crying on a bench. He sat beside her, offered his umbrella, and simply said, "I'm here." She didn't speak at first, but after a while she smiled. They watched the raindrops fall and shared a moment of peace. Later that evening, the jar shone brighter than ever. Inside, a rainbow-colored crystal floated and glowed with calm, gentle light. Max realized something important: kindness isn't just about big actions. Even small moments of care can change someone's entire day. Sometimes, Max would just smile at strangers. Sometimes, he'd help without being asked. And the jar always responded with a soft light. Eventually, the jar stopped glowing so often. Not because kindness ended, but because Max no longer needed reminders to be kind. Kindness had become part of who he was. His heart was the real jar now, filled with memories, smiles, and shining acts of love. Max kept the jar in his classroom, on the highest shelf. Every time students asked about it, he'd say, "That's where magic lives." And when a student asked how to find their own magic, Max replied, "You already have it. Just share it." One night, Max looked out the window at the stars. He thought of all the people he'd helped, all the hearts he'd touched. He whispered, "Thank you, not to the jar, but to the world, for giving him so many chances to do good." The jar gave one final glow, then quietly faded to clear glass. It had done its job. Max didn't need it anymore. But the magic didn't disappear. It had spread into the lives of everyone Max had helped, and all those they would help too. Because kindness is like light, it passes from hand to hand, heart to heart, and never runs out. And so, wherever someone chooses to be kind, a little bit of Max's magic still shines in the world.